new avenues for cooperation, particularly strengthening trade and economic cooperation, including greater support to business communities, facilitation of trade delegations, and enhanced institutional linkages. The two sides also exchanged views on evolving global and regional environment and discussed key multilateral issues of mutual interest. Both sides agreed to maintain regular consultations and expressed confidence that sustained engagement would lead to new progress. Uh, this week, ladies and gentlemen, you must have seen the two joint statements issued by 8 Islamic foreign ministers, that is the foreign ministers of Pakistan, Egypt, Indonesia, Jordan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE. So the two statements, first one condemned Israeli repeated violation of ceasefire in Gaza, and the other one was on the alleged Israeli actions in the occupied West Bank. So the first statement basically termed Israeli attacks in Gaza as risk to escalating tension and undermining efforts aimed at consolidating calm and restoring stability at a time when regional and international parties are working collectively to advance the second phase of Gaza peace plan and implementation of the UN Resolution 2803. And in the second statement, ladies and gentlemen, the foreign ministers condemned Israeli decisions and measures aimed at imposing unlawful Israeli sovereignty, entrenching settlement activity, and enforcing a new and illegal administrative reality in the occupied West Bank, thereby accelerating attempts at its illegal annexation and displacement of the people of Palestine. The foreign minister reaffirmed that Israel has no sovereignty over the occupied Palestinian territory. Israeli action represents an assault on the inalienable right of the Palestinian people to realize their independent and sovereign state on the 4th June 1967 lines with occupied Jerusalem as its capital. Such actions by Israel undermine the ongoing efforts of peace and stability. This week, Pakistan also hosted the informal retreat of D8 commissioners on 5th and 6th February in Lahore. Pakistan hosted this retreat primarily to discuss strengthening the D8 Secretariat and improve its financial and administrative matters ahead of the commencement of the 51st session of the D8 Commissioners and the 12th D8 Summit. As you know, the current D8 Secretary General is Ambassador Suhail Mahmood, Foreign Secretary, and it comprises Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, and Nigeria, Turkey, and Pakistan. So Pakistan attaches a lot of importance to D8 process and would remain engaged with it. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, two important visits to Islamabad. First was the Director General UNESCO, Dr. Khalid Al-Enani. Director General arrived in Islamabad on an official visit. He called on the Prime Minister and held meeting with the senior government officials to discuss strengthening our strategic cooperation between Pakistan with UNESCO. And this was the very first visit of Dr. Al-Enani to any country since his election as the new Director General of UNESCO in November 2025. The second visit is that of the investment. The second important visit this week was the visit of Minister for Investment and Downstream Industry of Indonesia, as well as the Chief Executive Office of Danantara, His Excellency Mr. Rozan Roslani. The Minister for Investment from Indonesia visited here from 9th to 10th February. This was at the invitation of our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, and during the visit he called on the Prime Minister and as well as the Deputy Prime Minister. The visit underscored the shared resolve of Pakistan and Indonesia to elevate economic engagement and translate leadership-level initiatives into tangible outcomes. So this concludes my opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, and I open the floor for question answers.
परमानेंट कोर्ट ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन ने कहा है कि इंडिया को इनविटेशन देने के बावजूद वो हेयरिंग में भी नहीं आया और रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा। एक तो इस पे बता दीजिएगा। दूसरा ये है कि जब से सिंतास मुआहदा हिंदुस्तान की जानिब से मुअत्तल किया गया तो उसके बाद पहली मरतबा उन्होंने चनाब पर एक और डैम की मंजूरी दी है और उसके लिए बिड्स भी तलब की है। तो इस पर आपका टेक चाहिए। थैंक यू।
Pakistan legal team participated in the proceedings of the Court of Arbitration, which were held at The Hague. I think on 2nd to 3rd February. And during these proceedings, Pakistan requested the court to address the interpretation and application of the Indus Water Treaty with respect to certain design elements of the run-of-river hydroelectric projects that fall within the limited allowances provided under the Indus Water Treaty provided to India. India was invited by the Court of Arbitration to participate in the proceedings. Under the Indus Water Treaty, it was obliged to do so, and it chose not to appear. You must have seen the press release issued by the court, and we remain engaged with the process. On the second question on Sawalkot project on River Chenab, the matter has been taken up at the level of Indus Water Commissioners. Our Indus Water Commissioner had written a letter in July, I understand, and I can confirm that another letter has been written this week, I believe on 11th of February, to the Indian Indus Water Commissioner for information and consultations as mandated by the Indus Water Treaty of 1960. Pakistan reiterates that the Indus Water Treaty remains a binding international instrument consistent with the decisions of Court of Arbitration of June and August 2025. And we also remain engaged with it. No unilateral actions or defiance can alter this legal reality. Pakistan calls upon India to return to full treaty compliance and fulfill its obligations under the Indus Water Treaty. We are fully committed to the peaceful resolution of disputes and issues with India through dialogue and international legal mechanisms. And we wish to reiterate that we will never compromise on our existential water rights of our people.
One lynching case in Bangladesh led India to expel a Bangladeshi cricketer player, and what happened next, that is known to us. Is there any chance that Pakistan is also keeping the track of lynchings happening in India, and what was our reaction to it?
The incident in Bangladesh, I believe, has been addressed through a transparent judicial process, and we can appreciate the authorities of Bangladesh for doing so. And on the contrary, the lynching in India, unfortunate lynching of Muslims in India, continue unabated and seemingly under official patronage, under political patronage. You mentioned about if we are keeping a track of it, we do so, and we are deeply alarmed that at least 55 Muslims were lynched across India last year, pointing to a disturbing and persistent pattern of targeted and hate-motivated violence. This 55 is a figure that is supported with evidences, with names, and with progress on the cases. Credible accounts suggest that many of these incidents occurred with the tacit or explicit complicity of local authorities and local political leaders, underscoring the role of state patronage and impunity in enabling such crimes. And this is an important matter that needs international attention, the state and political patronage. And these acts do not occur in isolation. They unfold within a broader social and political climate marked by hostility, where Hindutva-driven narratives increasingly portray Muslims as outsiders, selectively deploy historical and cultural symbols to legitimize exclusion, discrimination, and violence. I would also like to add that human rights observers and scholars have warned that sustained social hostility, the normalization of mob violence, forced evictions, destruction, demolition of homes and places of worship, hate speech, intimidation, systemic discrimination, and persistent state inaction constitute well-established early warning indicators of mass atrocities. When such practices are tolerated, celebrated, facilitated to marginalize, terrorize, and erase a community, they meet the legal threshold articulated in international law for genocide, an act intended to destroy in whole or in part a protected group. So we call upon the Government of India to investigate all such incidents, which are not one, not two, not a dozen, but 55. Promptly, transparently, and impartially investigate these incidents, hold perpetrators and enablers accountable, and to confront decisively the ideological and institutional drivers of intolerance, hatred, and hostility against religious minorities, particularly Muslims and Christians. The international community, particularly human rights institutions, may also closely monitor the situation in India in order to ensure full protection of vulnerable communities.
It is reported in the media that Prime Minister is going for the meeting of the Board of Peace, but it has not been officially announced. So would you confirm, is he going to the summit of the Board of Peace in Washington for 19th February? And who are the members of his delegation? And very small third question.
Maybe we can take it in the second round. I'll forget the track of it. Thank you. Sir, this report, I understand that you referred to the 1267 Sanctions Committee report you were referring, which was published on the 4th of February. And we have studied the report, we have seen the report, and we have evaluated it, and we believe that it extensively supports Pakistan's narrative on TTP and Afghanistan. The report has highlighted the important aspects related to the presence of TTP and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. A very significant aspect of the report is that interim government in Afghanistan continues to provide a permissive environment to a range of terrorists, notably TTP. According to the report, TTP has accorded greater operational liberty and support the de facto authorities, consequently attacking the territory inside Pakistan. The report also, I believe, refers to Al-Qaeda, which continues to enjoy a straight patronage. Al-Qaeda acts, the report says that Al-Qaeda acts as a multiplier and service provider to other armed terrorist groups in Afghanistan in terms of training and advice, particularly TTP. Al-Qaeda in Indian subcontinent is active in southeastern Afghanistan as report, and TTP operates as one of the largest terrorist groups in Afghanistan. This is also mentioned in the reports. And concern raised by several member states on deepening cooperation between Al-Qaeda aligned groups and TTP are also mentioned in the context of targets resulting in extra-regional threats, not just to Pakistan but to the other Afghan neighbors. TTP suffered operational setbacks, the report mentions, and another important aspect is the ISIL-K is also active in northern Afghanistan, according to the report. There is a reference to collaboration between the BLA, Fitna al-Hindustan, Fitna al-Hind, TTP and ISKP through a shared training camps and resources, coordinated attack, and meeting between the commanders. So if we sum up all this, the report corroborates Pakistan's position that TTP resurgence is linked to post-2021 interim Afghan government takeover. Pakistan's claims that TTP benefits from freedom of movement and access to resources in Afghanistan, explicitly highlights that Pakistan is the main target of TTP attacks, validating that Pakistan is a victim of terrorism, bearing the brunt of violence originating from Afghanistan. So this is an important report, and we'll follow it up with the relevant UN Secretariat and departments, and also with the members of the international community, particularly the members of the Security Council and other relevant stakeholders. Thank you.
तर्जुमान दफ्तर खारजा ताहिर हुसैन। तर्जुमान दफ्तर खारजा की हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग अभी जारी थी। उन्होंने कहा कि मुश्तरका सनती जोन्स कायम करने और बैनुल-अक़वामी फोरम के लिए काम किया जा रहा है।